Well, hey you guys, this is Kim at the Able Gardener, and I'm going to be planting my grapevine today, my Thompson Seedless. So what I thought I would do is bring you out where the Thompson Seedless actually was created, and that's out here in Sutter County on anywhere from, I think, 300 to 400 acres behind me. William Thompson had bought some land, had bought some grape cuttings, and he created the Thompson Seedless grape. But let's get back home because we're on the edge of a really busy highway, and I can't say too much before a couple more cars go by, so I'll see you back home. Well, you guys, I made it back from the highway. It was just a little too busy there to be talking for very long without cars going by. But I'm going to be putting in my Thompson Seedless grape today. Now, I know that it's not the perfect time of year to be planting grapes. You really want to wait until all the leaves have fallen off, and maybe sometime in December, January, even into early spring. But it's the time that I have to plant it. So I'm going to go ahead and get it in the ground here. Pretty much at the back of my children's garden in front of the chickens. So one thing that I did was I put in a couple of pressure treated 4x4s. Just went ahead and cemented them in the ground and put a couple slats on the bottom just to keep them level until the cement dried and cured. And they've been here for over a week now. They're nice and solid in the ground. What I'll be doing is putting some screw eyes, probably 3 feet above the ground, and maybe then another one 5 feet above the ground, and that's where I'll be running my wire to put the grapevine on. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to clean up this ground a little bit. I've already dug a hole, but it kind of got filled in, so I'm going to re-dig that, and then we'll go about planting the grapevine. But one thing that I wanted to tell you about the Thompson Seedless, if you hadn't read the plaque down on the road, is that William Thompson and his son had probably about 300 or 400 acres out there just on the side of the road. And they had sent away to New York for 3 grapevines. They went through some really heavy rains in springtime, and 2 of those 3 grapevines died. So one lived, and they say that that one grapevine is the mother plant for all Thompson Seedless grapes in California, or basically anywhere where you buy a Thompson Seedless. Now, the other name for Thompson Seedless is Sultana. So you can look that up online if you'd like to know any more of the history of the Thompson Seedless grape or the Sultana grape. Now, they make really good raisins and really good just table grapes just to eat. So I'm going to dig a hole probably about, anywhere from like 1.5 feet diameter to maybe 1.5 feet deep. Now, I have really hard soil. It's mostly just clay. But if you have more of a sandy loam or sand in with your clay, then that's really good, because grapevines really love to have a well-draining soil. So when I get this hole dug, I will probably put some gravel and some sand down in the bottom, just so that the grapevine roots are sitting on something that can drain. The roots will just rot if it's sitting in water for very long. So when your grape roots start growing, they're not going to start growing straight down. What they're going to do is they're going to start growing outwards. So making your hole as wide as you can is a good idea. I think I've gotten a deep enough hole. I'm going to go get a little bit of gravel and put in the bottom, a little bit of mulch, and then I'll go ahead and plant the grapevine. Now, I'm only putting this gravel in the bottom of my hole for the grapevine because of the area I live in, and because the soil is just so dense with clay. You definitely don't have to do this if you don't want to, or if you're in an area where you have well-draining soil. So I'm just going to put a little bit of mulch in there and make sure that I put quite a bit around the sides so the roots can grow out sideways. There we go. Just a little bit of mulch on top of that gravel, and then I'll get the grapevine out of its pot and get it inside. Now, as for pruning grapes, that's pretty much an art form. It really has to do with whether you're going to use the grapes for just eating, table grapes, or whether you're going to be making wine. So I just want table grapes. So I'm not going to cut my vine back down to the bottom, back to just one of the stems or one of the vines. I'm going to cut back just one piece that is growing sideways. And then there are two coming out of the bottom. I'm going to leave those two. What I'm going to want is I'm going to want to build an archway up here and have a grape arbor eventually. So I want this to grow, and I'm not going to be cutting it back every year. I'm going to be letting it grow and just trim it back just a very small amount every year. So I've got two pretty good pencil-size vines coming out of the ground or out of the bottom. I've got another one here, a third one coming out. I am going to take that off so that most of the growth that happens is going to come through these two vines. Now, I've dug my hole probably about 3 feet out from the chicken pen. Now, one reason I did that is because these grapevines can easily get powdery mildew. So you do want to at least trim it back, or if you put it somewhere up against something, you want to get it out far enough to where it gets really good ventilation. So I did get this grapevine on sale. It was 50% off, and that was because it was dying. It had powdery mildew at the nursery, and they just had it on the markdown rack. So I brought it home. I got the powdery mildew taken care of with some baking soda and water. I believe that was a teaspoon of baking soda and a quart of water. I just sprayed it probably twice a week to begin with, and then once a week after that. And then the powdery mildew was all gone. I got a lot of new growth on here. So all of this greenery, or the leaves that are left on here, they were all new after I got the plant. The roots of your grape, you're just going to want to take it out of the pot and more or less just tickle the roots a little bit, get some of the compost or soil out of there, and just loosen up the roots a bit, and then get it set down in the hole. Now, when you plant your grapevine, plant it just as it was in the pot. Right where it comes out of the ground, plant it the same way, just right at ground level. I'm going to start putting some of that soil back in that was in the pot where the grape was growing. Mix it together a little bit with my clay soil. Break up any clay dirt clods you have. Just crumble them up, and as I mentioned, mix it together with the compost. You don't want to plant your grapevine into just a total compost environment and not have any of the original soil in here with it. Here's the top of the roots right here. So I'm just going to put the soil right up to where the grapevine starts coming out of the soil, right at ground level. A little more compost, a little more clay, mix it together. So you don't have to push the soil in. You don't have to, really get the soil tamped in around your grapevine, because the water will do that for you. Well, I've got my grapevine planted. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some holes in my posts, get some screw eyes in there, and I'm going to get some string run across to get this vine hook to, just to get it to where it has some support. Well, what I've decided to do on my 4x4 post is I'm going to put a screw eye at 2 feet and then up here again at 4 feet. And that way I'll definitely have something to tie my grapevine to. Now, I got extra large screw eyes, and one reason for that is because I'm going to leave this grapevine on this wire, or for right now on a heavy string, and hopefully that will hold up all of the vine, and it will also be enough to hold up a lot of grapevine clusters. Well, today I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach my grapevines to some twine. And that's for no other reason except that I forgot to buy, or I didn't buy the right size wire to put on here. And I don't want to put it onto a smaller wire than it should be attached to. So the size wire I needed to get was a 9-gauge wire. And that's a nice heavy-duty wire. It'll hold up your grapevines and all of your grape clusters. So that's going to last me for now until I can get back to the store and get the right size wire. So I'm just going to run this over to the other pole and put a knot on that side and then one on the top, and then I'll be good to go to get my grapevine tied up. That's good for now until I can get my wire. Another thing that I'm going to do, or that I will do, is I'll go inside, I'll either get some red or yellow ribbon and just tie a few pieces up and down these strings or this twine, just for the kids running around. So if they don't see the twine, hopefully they'll see the ribbon and they won't run through here and hurt themselves. So now I'm going to get the grapevine tied up, and then that'll be it for today. Well, as I mentioned before, I'm going to be growing my grapes for table grapes. I might even try making some raisins at some time. So I'm not going to be cutting these 2 vines off, and I won't be cutting my grapevine down to the ground or down low like wine producers do. Well, there you go, you guys. My grapevine's planted. It's going up the stake and on the trellis, and then I'll just get that heavier wire or heavy wire and then just let it grow. I may cut a little bit more of this back, I'm not sure, but as for now, I got it in the ground. I'm happy because I've been wanting to get it in the ground a long time. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and look up William Thompson and the Thompson Seedless grape, also called the Sultana. And thanks for joining me today, you guys, on planting my grapevine, and I'll talk to you guys later. God bless you guys. Bye-bye.